Welcome back, True Seeker. Just a quick heads up. In a little less than 30 minutes, we will begin our live stream for this year's NBA Finals on Patreon. If you want to sign up, the link is in the description. It's patreon.com/Zachary K. Hubbard. Again, had you followed me for the conference finals, you would have been right on with both teams. Pretty easy call that would be Warriors and Celtics based on what the numbers showed. And notice what they did to both one seeds in each conference. They had them go to Game 7 just to punk the home crowd, that thing they love to do. They love to overcharge for the tickets, the food, and then ruin the home crowd's day with a scripted loss. And that's exactly what it is, as scripted as can be. We thought that Boston Heat series would go to Game 7, and the Heat would stay stuck on 149 playoff wins on the 149th day of the year on JFK's birthday, who's from Massachusetts like the Celtics, and we pointed all that out before the series even began. So anyhow, if you want to learn the knowledge for how sports are scripted, we've been teaching it for years. I used to do it for free. The first 5 years I was here, everything was free, and I just put it up on my Zachary K. Hubbard page, which is what my page was called until June 28th, 2017, when it was deleted. Then, of course, it got deleted about 15 more times before I divided up Gematria Effect Sports and Gematria Effect News. And since then, the Gematria Effect Sports channels stayed up, although it's dealt with suspensions. And Gematria Effect News has been deleted like 10 more times. They mostly don't like the news coverage. But before we hop on Patreon and do the NBA Finals stream, just going to redo something for a lot of you because you're not following me on Gematria Effect News. A lot of you have asked, why haven't I covered Ray Liotta's death? Well, I covered Ray Liotta's death and put out 3 videos on it the day he died. But for those who missed it, again, it's just another example of how rigged sports are and how sick and twisted these sports leagues are. And if you missed it, Ray Liotta, he died last week, May 26th, 2022, the 146th day of the year. Of course, he's best known for Goodfellas, a film that runs 146 minutes long. But the sports movie he's most known for is Field of Dreams. And of course, last year the MLB had its first ever Field of Dreams game. This year they're going to have their second ever Field of Dreams game. This year that game will be on August 11th between the Cubs and the Reds. And it just so happened the Cubs and the Reds were also playing each other the day Ray Liotta died. And again, here, let's just pull up the ESPN page and let's just do this in real time. I got the screenshots up, but what? ESPN doesn't work right? Okay, there we go. Okay, let's go back to last week, the day Ray Liotta died, Thursday, May 26th. I was doing my videos from the airport because I was flying back from Buffalo. And notice, on May 26th, the Reds smoked the Cubs 20-5. Unusual baseball score, really rare score. 20 runs in a baseball game, that doesn't happen that often. But 20-5. And again, Ray Liotta played the real-life baseball player Shoeless Joe Jackson. And notice, in the most simple cipher, the most simple cipher known as Simple English Gematria, if you write out Shoeless Joe Jackson, it equals 205. And again, that's who Ray Liotta played in Field of Dreams. He played the character Shoeless Joe Jackson, who's a real-life baseball player. 20-5. 205. You see? And again, I mean, this isn't anything unusual. This is what I've been showing you day after day for, going on a decade straight. Sports, news, all scripted. And if you go back to my earliest work, well, too bad YouTube deleted it all, but you can go back and read my old blog posts. I've been trying to figure out what it is about the Chicago Cubs in 146 for so many years, because there's something about the Cubs in 146. The last time they won the World Series, it was after they turned 146 years old. They clinched the playoffs in their 146th game. Kyle Schwarber got hurt that year in a game where it was 14-6. So keep in mind this did happen on the 146th day of the year as well, and it did involve the Cubs. And funny enough, I met a man that day, Chris Singleton, who was a minor league prospect for the Chicago Cubs, who lost his mother in the Charleston church shooting due to Dylan Roof, whose name equals 146, and lo and behold, he was cut from the Cubs minor league team after playing in 146 games. And right now he's waking up to, he took those millions of dollars from the same cabal that 86'd his mom and everybody else there. And again, he's learning the lessons of gematria and how sports and news, they're all scripted from the same Jesuit cabal. So Again, 20-5 in tribute to Shoeless Joe Jackson, who Ray Liotta portrayed in Field of Dreams. And again, the Field of Dreams game this year, if you don't know this, Field of Dreams game 2022. You'll see it's the Reds and the Cubs. It's going to be August 11th on a Thursday, just like Ray Liotta died on a Thursday. And again, let me make it bigger. Let me make it bigger so you can read it. So, again, the 1989 film that Ray Liotta's in, it'll be between the Cincinnati Reds and Chicago Cubs. Okay? And, there is more to Ray Liotta's death. Of course, dead at 67. We call that the blood sacrifice, human sacrifice number. Richie Rich did good research and pointed out that Ray Liotta's character in Goodfellas, his name is Henry Hill Jr., which equals 67. And his character was associated with the Lucchese crime family. And Tommy Lucchese died at age 67 in the year 67. Then Goodfellas related to that, and then Ray Liotta, who plays the part, ends up dying at 67. Not to mention, they said Ray Liotta died down in the Dominican Republic, where a lot of baseball players come from. And again, Gematria, alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. If you just use the alphabetic order, Ray Liotta's like blood sacrifice. And with regards to him being in Goodfellas, the big star, that's De Niro. He died 83 days before De Niro's 79th birthday. Murder is 79 forwards, 83 in reverse, the same numbers they code on the Murder by Numbers movie poster. Hollywood, giving you the clues. And notice how Ray Liotta's right behind De Niro's right shoulder. And, again, Goodfellas. 2 hours and 26 minutes. That's 146 minutes. Ray Liotta dead on the 146th day of the year in Santo Domingo, which equals 146. How perfect, right? So perfect. Murder by Numbers, the song. Gematria, the killing name. And again, just the thing with the Cubs and 146. I still haven't figured out why the Cubs are so obsessed with 146, but there's a reason there. Probably has something to do with a historical founder, some stone I haven't overturned yet, but there's something about the Cubs in 146. I've been trying to figure it out for years. And, John SoCal pointed out the Red Sox on the same day just hit a home run in the ninth against Shoeless Joe Jackson's White Sox. And again, remember, Shoeless Joe Jackson has the connection to Chicago as well. But that made the score 16-7. If you leave off the Shoeless part, just Joe Jackson's 167. Ray Liotta was married to former Chicago Cubs star Mark Grace's ex-wife. Go figure. And again, dies in this day of the Cubs-Reds ritual. And again, I mean, for all you guys who think this is a joke, go back and see my prediction from 2 months last year before the Field of Dreams game was played with the Yankees and White Sox. I said, watch, the Yankees will be on 63 wins by the end of the Field of Dreams game. Way before the game was played, and that's exactly how many wins they were on after they lost to the White Sox in the Field of Dreams game. But notice, Major League Baseball. Oh, come on, why is it doing that to me? All right, hold on. I want the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. Field of Dreams, 63. Major League Baseball, 63. And remember, a couple weeks before, it looked like there was no chance that the Yankees would be on 63 wins because they had to win practically every game to get there, and that's what they did. And again, my people won a ton of money because they just kept betting the Yankees because they were feeling what I said, that the Yankees would be on 63 wins by the end of the Field of Dreams game, which is exactly what happened because it's all scripted. Major League Baseball, 63. Field of Dreams, 63. Educated about these things a million times. MLB in 63. It's all scripted, you guys. I mean, And for the sorry-ass piece of shit out there that put out a video the day my NBA Finals prediction landed, he put out a video saying, another Zachary K. Hubbard prediction wrong. Okay, so the NBA Finals pick prediction landed that day. What else landed that month? I had been saying for years why the 74th birthday of Israel would have an evil, horrible tragedy on it, which ended up being the Buffalo shooting. Correct. I said May 24th would be full of disaster headlines. Ended up being the Uvalde, Texas shooting headline. And I said watch on Memorial Day, which actually technically happened after he put out his bullshit video. But it happened the next day. But I said watch on Memorial Day this year, you'll see some kind of tribute to what they did with George Floyd 2 years earlier. And it ends up being a dead Minnesota Viking after George Floyd was killed in Minnesota on Memorial Day. And not to mention all those rituals also encode the 201, the number I'm educating about continuously. But again, you guys, if you're listening to my critics and the people who are trying to make me look bad, realize you're being taken by criminals and frauds. They can call me that all they want, but they're the real criminals and frauds. I'm putting out the greatest knowledge that was ever put out on the history of the internet to wake people up to the evil agendas, who's responsible, why they do it. Again, for the person who needs why, I've said it a million times. I put both my books out there for free that say on the opening page why. It's because of Kabbalah. Kabbalah is where the code of letters and numbers comes from. You've heard the term the Cabal. That's who runs the world, the Jesuit Cabal, who gave us the calendar and the language and who've synced up all their rituals. They control all your sports leagues, your nightly news, your political offices, and that's why everything's a perfect ritual day after day. So, again, if you can't wrap your head around it, again, it's because the Cabal's done a job on you. You know, they've poisoned you in a gazillion different ways. They've made you dumb with their slave school, with their nightly programming. And I'm sorry for you. You know, try to eat better, try to get more sleep, watch less TV, start reading books, try to access that third eye in your mind. You know, try to fix whatever's wrong because this stuff gets proven every single day. Master P's daughter dead at 29 days after Master P's birthday, when Master P equals 29 and he's born on the 29th. Not to mention also dead 83 days before Lil Romeo's upcoming birthday, when the daughter's name equals 83 and so does murder. And again, that proves my point further about what I'm saying too, that these people that are celebrities like the Master P's of the world, their lives are on puppet strings. They're procreating. They're being told, you know, what day to have the C-section, what to name the child, because they got the ritual sacrifices all planned out. You know, when Ray Liotta portrayed the gangster who died at 67 and 67, his life was probably sealed for age 67. You know, dead in his sleep, they tell you. Anyhow, we'll be on Patreon. We'll be talking about the NBA Finals. There's some big clues. They very well could pay tribute to 1964. In 64, the Celtics beat the Warriors 4-1 in the NBA Finals. Now they meet 58 years later. Of course, Golden State has... And again, I mean, just think about that. These teams are meeting 58 years later. 58 years ago, the series was 4-1. That was the year JFK was supposed to run for re-election. But I just want you to see something about that in light of Golden State. You know, 41-58, 58 years ago, it was a 4-1 series. Anyhow, we'll be talking about on Patreon what the big clue is for when the series might finish. And again, history loves to repeat itself, so they could do it again the way they got it all lined up between these two teams. We'll be talking more about it on Patreon. And again, $1 a month for the notes. If you want to participate in the live streams when we talk about sports, it's $5. And yes, I'm hardly doing anything with sports right now, but again, I hardly charge anything. Had you been around for May, you know, you would have had that nice finals pick, which would have been worth way more than $5. And you would have hit on some nice games along the way because you knew the pattern. You knew about Boston in 22. You knew about Golden State in 41. So, anyhow, we'll leave it there for now. I'll see you on Patreon shortly. It's about 10 minutes from now. Again, patreon.com/Zachary K. Hubbard. You got to pledge to join the stream. And hope to see you there. Till next time.